So in our last video, I mentioned that we had a leak in this hydraulic line, and you can see we spliced it and put a new end on here. It's the hydraulic line that lifts the mower up and down. And what had happened was this bar, when you turn, make tight corners, would swing over, and the tire was banging on that hydraulic line there and wore a hole through the rubber covering and actually scuffed the metal inside. So it took me several hours to figure out how I was going to keep this bar over this way, and I came up with a real high-tech solution. A bungee cord. Just hook it right there. Hey everybody, good morning. Dave from Rolling Hills Farm. Welcome back to the channel. It is a warm, hazy morning, and we're getting ready to mow hay. Just finished fueling the tractor, and we're headed out in the field this morning to cut our largest field of hay. We've got a stretch of really warm weather, sunny weather, and we're going to make a lot of hay over the next few days, and it all starts with the mower. So here's an indication of what the drought's doing to us. I mean, this area is in need of replanting, and so it's low anyway, but especially along the fence edge here, there's almost nothing in that windrow. The drought has just hammered us here. This field is smooth enough and thin enough that I'm actually able to go up into my next gear, so that we're mowing at about 9 miles an hour here, keeping the power takeoff right where it belongs, PTO speed, and ground speed just up a little higher. This is kind of a rolling field, a little bit steep at the one end, but I'm able to keep my engine speed up without too much trouble. So next morning we're out tedding. It's a beautiful drying day, even as early as it is. Still a little bit of haze, but we're gonna have some serious heat today. And Dawn's over here tedding this, just finishing up. So we're out working on fence this morning before we get out and start doing hay. You can see Dawn walking with a bucket of insulators, and the cows over here, because those naughty little calves were running out into the bale yard last night. You can see calf footprints in the grass coming right through the fence like there's no power at all. So we've got to figure out what's going on with the fencer. The horse side is good, but the cow side is absolutely dead. So we let them out into the west pasture earlier than we wanted. And now we're going to try to figure out what's going on with this fence line. These poles have been pushed on. I'm going to need to come back here and reset these and do some brush work. Boy, look at the wild raspberries. Are they ever ripe? and good. So you see the road is right on the other side of this fence line. So we're always nervous about the cows getting through over here. And getting out onto the road, you can see the traffic comes by here pretty fast. And a black cow on the road in the night would be a real problem. We've done a perimeter walk. Let's plug these fences back in. This one's on the horse side. And this one's on the cow side. And this is the one we're worried about. And boy, it's reading way up into green. And this one, despite all those weeds, is in the green too. So let's walk out and Dawn will put the tester on and we'll see if we get some spark. Not getting any reading at all. We're checking the ground here. This ground was clicking, so we're going to clean this ground. The way we've got the fence hooked up is you see the flags, there's 3 ground rods driven deep in the ground, and we may have to, they may be so dry we may just need to dump water on them. So we swapped hot lines to the horse fencer, and it's working great. It's pegged all the way, and the cow fencer, something's rattling in there, has 0 output. So for the most important part of the fence, we now have power. Dawn's hooking up the other line. For the horse side, where the mother cow and the twins are, we have no power on this side of the fence. So hopefully they have enough grass to keep eating. And those rotten little guys now have a fencer holding them in. Problem at least partly solved. What a pain in the butt. I've got to replace net wrap. We're down to just a little bit of net wrap left on this roll. And it threw an error code right at the end of baling last night. And it didn't cut automatically. And that's usually an indication that the net roll is just getting down. And I'd rather replace it now when I've got time and I'm not sitting in a field. All right, pull the old roll off. All right, grab a hold of a handful of the net, bring it over top of that one. And now what you need to do using this tool is feed it down into the duck bill so it sticks out 4 inches below the duck bill. The rain showers that were forecast last night once again went around us. We took a chance that we could get this hay up today without any rain, and it looks like it was the right bet. So I'm over here with the rake, and I'm going to get this rake You never did round bales, you did square bales the whole time?
Right, never did round ones.
Everything in the barn?
Everything in the barn, because you can't feed a round bale in the barn. Hardly.
So how long ago did you get rid of your herd?
94. That's when I sold all the cows. Diamond Tool closed up, lost my job, so it takes a good job to support a farm. So I sold all the cows, then just made the hay, It was a lot harder than it is now with bigger tractors and stuff, but it was tough and slow, but you didn't have nothing else to do anyway.
So how many years have you farmed this?
Yeah, that'd be, 50, 60?
60 years?
Yeah.
So what was the equipment like 60 years ago?
Well, I had a tractor, was a VAC case. That was before we had, it was horses before that.
So you actually worked with horses?
No, I was just after the horses. We got the tractor, but everything was slow. I had 7-foot mowers, sickle mowers, dump rakes. Then finally got a side delivery rake. For grain, it was binder. You cut it with the binder, 6-foot cut on the binder, bundle it, shock it, reshock it, reshock it. Then the threshing machine come and thresh it. But everything was slower. All the hay, no baler. We bucked it all in loose. That's why this is so hard here. The barn was there, and all the buck come up this road, went up to the barn.
There, I'm working my way across this field now. You see Dennis's house up there. And the field is west of his house. This section, maybe 12 acres. And then you can see my round bales on the other side of the grain over there. There, another field in the books. The baler is cleaned off. Looks like we've got rain in the forecast again. We'll get by that. A couple more fields to go. Still haying. Thanks for watching, and back at you soon. What you're looking at here is our larger hay wagon. And I've started tearing the deck off because we've got a problem. You can see there's serious rot on these 4x4s that cross the main beams. And unfortunately, we're seeing some rot on the main beams.